So it was very useful for the teams of Paris 2024 really to test ourselves. Sometimes we tested with public, sometimes we tested with athletes, sometimes we just tested operations for the volunteer, for the accreditation. So we did not test everything in all the tests to also optimize and reduce the cost, not having small games in 2023 and the Olympics in 2024. But it was very, very needed for the teams to be ready. On budget, on schedule, so it's still the case. It's definitely our mission to respect the timeline and to be balanced with the budget. Maybe on the budget, some of you already know, but we have now a new budget of 4.4 billion. When we were starting the bid, we had a budget just less than 4 billion. So we had an increase of the budget because of new perimeter. We changed a little bit the project, and also with the inflation. But we still have more or less the same income coming, as you can see, at 96% from the private sector, with 3/3 kind of revenues, ticketing, the sponsorship program, and the IOC contribution coming with the TV rights principally. So it's an increase of around 10% in 5 years, which is again due to half of them from the inflation and half of them from the perimeter, which has changed a little bit, such as the opening ceremony into the Seine was not in the first project. J'ai pas compris.
1.2 billion dans la prochaine slide.
Ouais. Yes, partnership. So to get into more detail, we had this target of being at 96% by the end of 2023. No, we had the objective to be over 92%, and we are at 96%. So we are still on time. We had a good year with 32 new sponsors in the year, and we have already secured 1.2 billion in this program. So it's above our initial objective. The ticketing was also very, very positive when we launched the program. We had in several weeks a very, very positive sailings with again 7 million tickets sold for the Olympics. We launched also the Paralympics, and I will have a slide afterwards. Maybe it's good also to say that we will have a new release of tickets coming soon on November 30, but I think we have also a slide afterwards. Okay. In terms of venues, so again, we are still also on time in terms of preparation. So you know that we have a concept based on existing venues at 95%. So globally, we have not a lot of venues to be built for Paris 2024, but the few ones are still on time to be delivered when we need them. So no problem with this aspect. Over the last months, maybe a short update on what we have been up to. Okay. So the torch, and we have it one here with us. So it's a pleasure to show it not on screen, but in real. So Jonathan will share it with you, but we have a special guest this summer to celebrate the 1 year to go. So this is the torch. It's a very nice object. As you can see, the shape is very different. I would say it's symmetric shape in echo of the 50% participation of male and female. There are some small waves in echo of the Seine. And the color also is special for us. It's not just around the gold medal, but it's also the champagne color, which is typically French. So Usain Bolt were with us to celebrate this 1 year to go, and with athletes to engage also the fans over it. We presented also a new concept of celebration with this Champions Park. So the one of you who know very well the Winter Games, it's something common for the Winter Games to have this one place to celebrate the athletes, where the athletes usually receive their medals. For the Summer Games, it's not the case. They are awarded in their venues of competitions, but we wanted to have this very spectacular venue to celebrate the Champions Park. So after the competition, the day after the competition, they will have the opportunity to be welcomed also by the fans for free. So it's also a very important location. We tested it over the handover ceremony after the Tokyo Games, at the closing ceremony, and it was very, very positive. So we wanted to have it again for Paris 2024. We had the Paralympic Day celebration also. You know, Paris and France will host for the first time ever the Paralympic Games summer edition. So it's important for us also to engage widely with French people around the Paralympics. And we had Macron in white here, the President of the French Republic, who came to our event playing wheelchair basketball at this occasion with the IPC President Andrew Parson in blue on the right. So Paralympic Games ticket sales, we just opened up in last October 9. It's a very different concept, no lottery, and also a tarification, maybe more accessible price from 15 to 100 euro, 2.8 million. So it's a very ambitious program also for us. And it started well. We are happy to have already some sold-out sessions in triathlon, in para-triathlon, in para-fencing, also, or in parachuting. So it's a good signal, but we still have to educate and to promote the Paralympics, because we already know now that for the Olympics it will be full stadiums, but we still have to push to get the same for the Paralympics, and it's an ambition for us. So thank you to promote also the opportunity for the ones who could not have the tickets for the Olympics. There are still some more chances, but there are a lot of chances also with the Paralympics. Employment, so you know, Paris 2024 will recruit a lot of people. 4,000 people will work in the organizing committee, so it's also important for us to have regularly this kind of recruitment program, and we are now 2,000 people in the team, so it's getting well also in this regard. Maybe a view also on how we invest, how we deliver, I would say, because we are also contracting with a lot of companies to organize the games with us. So it's creating an impact also in the French economy for sure, because as you can see, 90% of the suppliers are French, and it's also important to demonstrate that the impact of such big event is real in terms of the economy in the country. Because there are 2.7 billion euro invested in the French economy in companies, so it's creating a lot of jobs, more than 150,000 jobs created to deliver the games. So it's a part that we don't often promote, which is also important for us to demonstrate that it was put in place really at the beginning of the project to have those two platforms, Enterprise 2024 and ESS 2024, to source all the companies in the fields where we will have tenders. and to make sure that those companies will have time to be prepared, to know how we will sell, how we buy to those companies, on which criteria, to make sure that there will be a fair competition also with this aspect. What is coming up? To conclude, so November 30, it's the last big release of the Olympic tickets. So in all sports, we will have new opportunities for fans to purchase tickets, still on the same platform, only a single platform, a worldwide platform at the same time. All the markets will have the opportunity to purchase tickets. So tickets.paris2024.org, and on November 30, new opportunities coming. The volunteer program is also a very important milestone for us. We received 312,000 applications, volunteers program. So it's great, but it's also a lot of work to now choose the 45,000 volunteers that we will work with, for the success of the games. We will reveal the medal design at the beginning of 2024. And again, from April 2024, we will have a new series of tests for the teams just a few weeks before the games to be completely ready on July 26 for the opening. We will receive, as we already saw, the few venues, new venues to be built. So this is the aquatic center on the left and the Olympic Village on the right. So it's in March. I say we will receive the keys of those venues. And so far, we are still with the same level of ambition, despite the different, I would say, incident, or I don't know what happened in the world over the past years with COVID and with wars and inflation and so on in France and internationally. For us, our mission is to maintain the level of ambition, to make sure that Paris, France, will be at the top level in terms of what we have the best to offer to showcase for Paris 2024. So it's the case for the two opening ceremonies into the cities, on the Seine for the Olympics, on the Champs-Élysées and Place de la Concorde for the Paralympics. So two very important milestones for us. Maybe we can go directly to the venues. So it's still the same ambition, having a fantastic opportunity to bridge between sport and culture, and having competitions in very iconic landmarks such as the Eiffel Tower, le Château de Versailles, les Champs-Élysées, les Invalides, le Grand Palais, and all the best iconic landmarks of France, in Marseille and so on. So it's a very spectacular concept, because we believe that it's important to welcome the world in the best setting, to offer to the athletes the best setup for their performance. La Concorde will be a very unique urban sports venue with breaking, BMX, skateboarding, basketry. So it will be a festival also of music at the same time. So it's a very innovative concept in terms of celebration, very spectacular, but also very innovative. It's not just in Paris. You have here the map of the competition venues on the left, and the map of the Relais de la Flamme, the torch relay route on the right. So 80 days of celebration over the countries and even overseas. It's important for us to go and share the passion of the games with the maximum of people. Games wide open is our signature. Beyond the celebration, it's also an opportunity to find solutions to have a legacy in terms of number of people doing more sport after the games. So develop the place of sport in the country. through education program, through the marathon, who will be open for the first time for the general public, or through the program Terre de Jeux 2024, which is an opportunity for cities who will not have any competitions in their territory to activate the Olympics, having every year different programs in place to touch and impact more people in the development of sport. And also a very important mission for us, it's in terms of a legacy, so a new model of games, more maybe committed to some challenges of the society, so in terms of inclusion, in terms of parity, same number of athletes and male and female for the first time ever. Environmentally, we are still on the path to reduce by half the carbon footprint of the games. And again, the first Paralympics in France will help definitely to change a little bit the perception on disability and also to accelerate a little bit the reduction of discrimination in our country in the access of transport, in the access of employment, in the access of sport, just which is still the case in our country. It's more difficult to have access to a sport competition club when you are in a disabled situation, and we want to develop with 3,000 new sporting clubs more accessible for people with a disability. And this is it. So now
happy to take any questions you may have.
How do you get involved with the issue of participation by Russia and Belarus, or your communications going back and forth between there and Lausanne?
So you know that the responsibility of the organizing committee of the games, it's not to choose which delegation or country is eligible to participate into the games. Our role is to welcome them once they are qualified by the international federations. So this is the first step. We are at the moment in this phase of qualification of the athletes, and it's under the responsibility of the international federations in all the different sports to go through the process of World Championship, of World Cup, and having the ranking, the best ranking in each sport to decide who will be eligible to participate into the games. The second phase will be to the IOC and to the IPC to validate the proposal of the international federations to go through the Paris 2024 games. And on our side, it's to make sure that once the IF and the IOC or the IPC say those athletes are qualified to the games, our role is to make sure that we will welcome them, and we will offer them a bed, some meals, a transport system, and a great experience with the competition venue. So no, we were not involved in the decision of who should be accepted to participate into the games. Personally, I think it's a good system because when the games are organized in different countries, in different continents, it's not their responsibility to decide. When they are organized in China, recently, the last games were in China, China were not able to say, okay, we accept this country, we don't accept this country. It was the same situation. It was the international federations and the IOC and the IPC. So we love the games because it's universal, and I think it's good to respect that this universality is coming with organizations such as the IOC and the IPC and the IF. So France will not be in a position to decide which country will participate in the Paris 2024 games.
I see that you have said, I think, in the past that the safest place in the world on the night of opening ceremony will be Paris.
Yeah.
You still stand, is that You still stand by that?
Oh yes, yes. No, I can. You know, I'm involved in many meetings, weekly meetings now with the public authorities in charge of security. So the Minister of the l'Intérieur, Gérald Darmanin, and the Préfet de Police are really committed to putting in place a very strong security process. Like never before in our country, even if there is a strong expertise, because you know every year we organize events into the city. Every celebration of New Year, the last year was 2 million people in the street on the Champs-Élysées. For the National Day on July 14, we have also 1 million people at the foot of the Eiffel Tower for the fireworks. So it's there is a strong expertise in our country to have 1,000, 100,000, even millions of people into the street. But for the games, it will be even stronger in terms of system in place with the authorities. So I confirm that it will be completely safe, and all the decisions we made are also with this security priority. You know, we launched the bid of Paris 2024 just after the attacks in 2015. At that time already, the politicians, the French authorities were fully aware that there were these terrorist menaces? Threats, merci. And through this journey of Paris 2024, we made sure with our authorities that the decisions we made were with this security as a priority. And even at the opening ceremony, we spent 1 year before to decide whether it was a good idea or not. To be honest with you, already during the opening, the bid phase, we had this discussion and this idea, but we didn't put it in the book, in the bid book, because we didn't have the time to really assess and evaluate what in terms of security was meaning about having an opening ceremony. So after we launched those studies, those work with the authorities to make sure that it was really feasible to have it. So we are very humble, but also very committed with security. We know that this is the #1 priority for the success of the Games.
Tony, I wanted to ask you about Tahiti.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of going there this summer and got to visit Chopo, and
Yeah.
it's a very beautiful but also very undeveloped place.
Yeah.
I was wondering how much you guys anticipated, how protective the locals were going to be of that beach, and whether you feel all parties are going to be, how confident you feel that all parties are going to be satisfied with the solutions, the new solutions that you guys have in place now.
Yeah, I think it's also a good example of our mindset with Paris 2024 to be quite creative in our concept globally. We spoke before with the opening ceremony, we spoke about the marathon for all and different options, and having surfing competitions in Tahiti was not so attendu, expected. So it's important for us to showcase the best of France, and definitely Tahiti at this time of the year is probably the best wave, because it's the Tahiti Pro every year in August was because for the surfing competition it's the best place in the world at that time. So when they bid, because we opened a tender to have cities, and we received 5 cities at that time, and we chose Tahiti and Polynesian because for us, in terms of sport venue, it was the best to offer to the athletes. In terms of iconic landmarks, it's also, as you said, just unique. And from then, we adapted the needs of Paris 2024 to this environment. So from the project they already submitted when they bid for having the surfing competitions, the Olympic surfing competitions, and the situation we are now, we already made a lot of changes because they were requested. They challenged a little bit some aspects, and we are in the mindset to really try to find the best solution to maintain the competition there, because there is a majority of people wanting the surfing competition to be held in Tahiti. They wanted to bid to have surfing in their territory, and now we are partners and we have to find solutions. So the tower, the judging tower, they decided 2 years ago to have a new tower because for security reasons first, and now because of these new ideas, we changed a little bit the situation, having a lighter tower, maybe reducing the impact on the environment, and it's great. I think if we are able collectively to find solutions to avoid the impact and to preserve and protect this place, it's what we want. So we are in this mindset definitely, and I really hope to have the success in Tahiti next summer.
Hi, Tony. Thanks for doing this. Women's football is really surging around the world. In the Olympics, there's still just 12 women's football teams and 16 for men. I'm curious if FIFA ever talked to the organizing committee about expanding that to equalize them, or why they're not the same.
Yeah, I think for Paris 2024, again, it's not on our side to decide on the various international federations programs. So it's international federations, they bid to the IOC to propose the sport program for the Olympics. And then the organizing committee, once the IOC decided the program, we have to deliver, and we have to welcome the number of teams and the different sport chosen by the IOC and the IPC for the Paralympics. So we are not in a situation to decide on which sporting event we want to organize, or how many athletes we want to welcome. It's not our decision and our responsibility. We pushed a lot with the IOC and with the IF to have the parity globally, and we were very interested in having this symbolic milestone in the history of the Games, because in Paris in 1900 was the first time that women participated into the Games. They were at that time 2%, but the first time that it will be fully gender equality, it will be in Paris 2024. And then the IOC had to find ways to balance. If there are sports where there are more men, it's the case for football, it should have sports where there are more women. But globally, out of the 10,500 athletes competing at the Olympic Games, there will be the same number of female and male. So that's our priority for us, and we don't know. It's maybe the FIFA will change the program for the next edition. I don't know if they will balance a little bit. I know that the IOC is pushing a lot the international federations to have a gender balanced program in each sport.
After 2 COVID Olympics, is there more of a pressure to do something big and spectacular? I mean, do you feel that pressure?
You know, I've been an athlete. Huh? I love the pressure. I want to succeed. I want the best. You know, last time again, it's one centenary ago, huh? when France was hosting the games, and the next time will be, we don't know. It will be not in a very coming future. So this pressure of being the most ambitious possible is definitely coming from us. We challenged till the beginning the IOC and the IPC to be the most creative possible, move the lines, having for the first time the same logo for the Olympics and Paralympics. It's just not a big milestone, but it's the first time, and it's not being so easy to have it. And we are in this mindset to see how at each milestone of the project, how we can move the line and being more creative, more innovative, because we believe that the access to the games rely also on this ability to evolve and to make the brand and this event more attractive. So it's a permanent fight, and I don't think it's because of COVID that we changed the line. We feel that there is a very high level of expectation. We felt it when we launched the ticketing program, and in few weeks there were 7 million tickets sold, which is unprecedented in the history of the game. So we feel that there are a lot of expectations, even for the volunteer program. More than 300,000 applications in 4 weeks. It's huge for the volunteer program. So it's good for us to rely on this level of expectation. There is a pressure, definitely, and the pressure is positive for me, because we have to succeed. We have to be at the best level we can be, and I think France is ready. France is really committed. The head of state is committed. The mayor of Paris is committed, and we have now 55 companies who are funding Paris 2024. As you saw, it's 96% coming from private funds. And my job is to coordinate among those stakeholders, the public ones, the private ones, the sport movement, and making sure that this boat is going in the right direction. And so far, I think it's the case.
When you were an athlete, what did you care about most when you were coming to an Olympics to compete? And what bothered you when things didn't go so well in terms of the organization? And how has that informed what your priorities are in terms of organizing the games?
To be honest with you, I think over the last the 4 editions I competed in, I think I had different expectations. The first time was just to be at my best level, but also to discover the games, because I was so inspired by this event, so looking forward to it, and I wanted to be at the opening ceremony. I wanted to be everywhere in the village and to discover all the different parts of the Olympics. So it was a mix of I'm here to do my best, but also I'm here to have fun and to understand what is behind this the thing that everyone speaks about. And it was so positive because I was 22. I didn't feel any pressure, and I won. It was not real because I had all the positive part and no negative. Everything was positive for me, so it's been fantastic. Then I moved a little bit because I felt the pressure, because I was Olympic champion in title, and I was defending my title, and the pressure was coming on my shoulders, and Athens were much difficult for me, and then you start to be maybe more demanding on everything, and having the best transport system, and having the best food, and having because in Sydney it wasn't the case. I was happy. It was wow, McDonald's in the Olympic Village, wow, for free. It's fantastic, and everything was quite a dream. And then with the age, we became more critical and more demanding. But it's been a fantastic journey, because at the end you have to find new solutions, because you have not the same goals and not the same expectations, and and you have to adapt also, because at the beginning I was 22, the youngest of the competitors. At the end I was the oldest, and I didn't like so much the younger who wanted to beat me. But no, it's the reality. I think the different athletes, they don't have the same expectations. So some of them are very focusing on the competitions. Some of them are very focusing on sharing a very unique moment, being in the village, being meeting with the different cultures and countries. So I think it's magic to see how different we are in athletes' family. It's completely different. So it's at the end of the day, as an organizing committee now, we know that we have to tick all the boxes, and again, there are some who will be really focusing on transport and making sure that it will be the same times exactly every day, and for others, there are no priority with this. They are able to adapt. They are very flexible. So it's a mix of different desires.
Thank you. Well, now I feel bad asking such a humdrum question after sort of a relatively inspiring one. But anyway, my humdrum couple of questions. Just on accommodation, is there anything the committee is able to do or is doing regarding concerns about hotel prices and Airbnb? I think Airbnb is a sponsor, right? Airbnb prices. That was my first question. And the other one, just to follow on the sort of more general security question you were answering, and I know you spoke in Mumbai too about this, but I wanted to ask if there was, besides the general security precautions, are there national teams that are seeking, or there are conversations you're having that is, are discussing additional special security measures for a particular team? I mean, folks are wondering if the US team or the Israeli team might be saying, well, we want some of our people here too. So I don't know if you can shed any lights on that, but those are my two questions.
Okay, thank you. On accommodation, I think our responsibility is definitely to make sure that all accredited persons, I mean the athletes, the delegations, will have a solution to be accommodated. So it's definitely our responsibility, and for that we have the Olympic Village, and we have rooms in hotels that we secured early in the process to make sure that we are still with a good capacity, and we are lucky enough that Paris and its region have a big capacity in terms of accommodation. The second part of your question with regarding the prices of accommodation for maybe the spectators, yes. It's not under our control, definitely. We have to respect also the law, and we cannot have a say on what the people are ready to sell. I think this market will be regulated also and balancing in comparison of the number of requests and the offers. So there are still a lot of to be available, and I'm sure that at the moment the prices are very high, but they will probably reduce a little bit also, because when we will get soon close to the games, those hotels we want to sell the rooms, and they are not selling when the prices are too high. So it's the reality of every games. It's the reality of every big event. We cannot control this part. In terms of security, again, I think it's a combination of what happened every time at the game. So there are some delegations maybe with a more secured approach, and it's like this, and we have to accept it and to respect it, to put in place this system. And I'm sure that the public authorities cooperate also internationally to make sure that the best security will be offered to all the delegations, because what we want is to make sure that all the athletes feel comfortable and in security with their experience. And And it's always been the case. I remember when I was an athlete in the village, not all the delegations are with the same security system, and it's like this, and it's good. It's also because the level of risk is not the same for all delegations, so it's normal that the system adapt to this risk and to find solutions. So yes, I can confirm that there are cooperation internationally to make sure that all delegations will be completely in safe.
I wasn't sure if I heard you correctly. You were talking about your own experience in the village. You said there were, you could just notice as an athlete differing levels.
Yes, yeah. It's always the case.
Hello there, Tony. Welcome to New York. Let me ask you a New York question for a second. As people watch this in New York, they watch this around the United States, how important is New York, is the United States, the fans of athletics and the Olympics to the success that you're trying to achieve with Paris 2024?
That's a good question. I think U.S. is definitely a big nations coming to the Olympics, and with your athletes, your results, and the fact that you will be for sure on the podium at the end of the games, we know that there is a special link between the Olympics and the fans in U.S. So on our side, again, we want to excite American people with this project, offering not just a sport competition, but a sport competition in Paris with this signature, having the creativity, the opening ceremony, not just in a stadium, but into the city, having the competitions into the main landmarks, and having the possibility for some of them to be volunteering, to be competing at the marathon for all. All our programs were thought to be open to anyone worldwide, and we're happy to see that again, US is the third market and country to purchase tickets, to be also very active in the volunteer program and so on. So we're happy to see that. I was in a show this morning with NBC, and we felt that there is already an excitement behind this project, and it's we are proud to it. We are proud that American people will watch the games and will attend the games and will participate into the games. So it's a great success for us.
And a quick follow-up, since you haven't gotten the follow-up yet. I spent a couple days in Paris this summer looking at the various venues. You've done a lot of that. And when you think about the history around the city, the history that the country has seen, and you're going to add another chapter to that history with some of these elite athletics being taken place in some iconic locations. Do you ever let yourself think about that, think about how you're helping, again, additional French history, athletics history here, the way you're presenting these games?
I think we have to wait the end of the games to make sure that we will part of the history, and we will write a new history with this project. I'm sure that definitely this is the level of ambition for us, to make sure that those new ideas in terms of having on one side the spectacular show, the big show on the planet, on Earth, successfully, but also a new model. And I think this is this combination that we want to demonstrate with Paris 2024. It is feasible to be inspiring and spectacular, and at the same time reducing by half the carbon footprint, be the more inclusive games, having the parity, having the reduction of discrimination and so on. I think it's this model that we want to promote, that the Games of Paris should be remembered having not reduced the ambition in terms of celebration, and let's be very spectacular and emotionally present and active. And on the other side, let's be ambitious on moving the lines to demonstrate that we are connected to the challenges of our society today, in terms of sustainability, in terms of legacy, in terms of maybe new model deliver the games.
Time for one more question.
Ah, en français.
On vous parle beaucoup de sécurité. Est-ce que vous êtes appuyé sur les expériences des Jeux passés, notamment Salt Lake, qui était un peu dans le même contexte très lourd d'attaques terroristes? Est-ce que vous avez échangé avec eux? Et vous pourrez répondre en anglais pour les collègues.
Yes, for sure. We looked at the previous games, at the previous events internationally. We just had the World Cups also, but as you said, we were in Rio, in Tokyo, in Beijing, in all different events internationally. We had a lot of talks with London 2012 because for us it's also a very comparable project with more or less the same size of cities. So probably the situation has changed in terms of security, but definitely yes, we had this cooperation internationally, especially in regards with security and how the connection between transport, security, how to access to the venues, how to find a fastest way to check and a more effective way, and so on. So yeah, it's not my first expertise area, but I'm quite confident because I feel now that there is a very strong commitment coming from the national authorities, and there is also good cooperation internationally with the success of the games.
Thank you very much.
Merci.